is Erin. I know a few of you who are watching this probably know me already, but I am a travel blogger, writer, and content creator. I travel a lot as I live in an Airstream with my dog, and I wanted to take a few minutes and go over some of the questions I get all the time and kind of tell you guys about my story and how I got started, because I get so many DMs asking me how I make money and how do I travel all the time and like how I decided to do all this stuff. So I just wanted to take a minute and tell you guys all about it. So we'll start from the beginning. When I lived in Fort Worth, which was before I moved here to Phoenix, Arizona, I live in Phoenix now. I lived in Fort Worth, Texas before, right after I graduated college. I took a marketing job at a marketing agency. I loved the people there, they were great, but I was having a hard time finding things to do. I had 3 months worth of work done within the first 2 weeks that I was there. So I literally didn't have a lot of stuff to do, and I was just struggling staying busy, and I just felt like my time was being wasted. So I decided that I was going to try something different when I moved here to Arizona. I was going to take some time off and try and decide if I wanted to start my own business or if I wanted to go back to a corporate job. And then I came across this wild idea of getting an Airstream. I've always loved Airstreams, but I really fell in love with them all over again when I took a trip in 2015 to go stay in a couple of Airstream Airbnbs. It was amazing, and I'll show you a photo here at some point of my first stay inside of an Airstream, and I absolutely was smitten with it. I couldn't tell you how much I adored it. I was speechless. But when I moved to Arizona, I had been thinking about it more, and I wanted to work remotely. I wanted to travel. I was on my own. It was just me and Rory, and I thought, you know what, we're just gonna do it. So after months of looking, I finally found the perfect Airstream. She is an Airstream Argosy. She's 24 feet long. We spent about 4 or 5 months renovating her, and she is my house now, and I live out of an Airstream with Rory, and currently we're still parked in Phoenix, but we will be hitting the road soon. So I decided to learn how to make a living working remotely, and a lot of this goes back to my college days. I did some writing for people internationally, so I did some work for people, and I decided I could make a living creating content, writing, taking photos, all of this stuff. Originally, it all started out as a website. So I created a blog just kind of to document the days that I spent with Rory and things that we would do when we lived in Texas. And then when I came to Arizona, it definitely cranked up a notch. We had a lot more stuff to do. We were outside a lot more. There was a lot of things going on, super cool views. We just had so many more options here that I knew that I could make something work. So I began taking a ton of photos during our adventures, and I started seeing a lot of growth on my Instagram and on my blog. It shot up from about 200 views a month to about 1,500 in a 1-month span after I moved here, and I was mind blown. Just the change in scenery, the things that we got to do, it was all more interesting. It was something that I knew that I could grow and something that I loved doing, so I wanted to pursue it. For those of you that are asking me how I got started in getting all of this stuff, all this free stuff, doing giveaways and all that, it really just took me reaching out to these people. You know, some people have come to me, which is great, and I love that, but sometimes you have to be the assertive one. So I basically started out emailing people, some of the brands that I loved, and I would say about 80 to 90% would respond, and that was great. Most of them were yeses, which I love that, but some of them said no, and so it took some time to formulate the proper emailing system, but the more personal I was about it and the more that I dug down into what I was really looking for and what I could give them in return, the better responses I got. So basically I went from blog to Instagram, and I did a lot of email outreach. I found brands that I loved, and I would just send emails out to them in hopes that they would respond. I got really personal about it. I made it sound like, and I didn't make it sound like that. It's just how I am. I just love being open with people and telling them what they can expect to receive from me and why I'm a good why I'm a good pick for them. And you know, sometimes we didn't mesh, sometimes it was just the branding and it didn't really make sense for both sides, and I totally get that. But most of the time people were really nice about it, and I got free stuff and I get to do giveaways and stuff now. It's really great, and it's as simple as being assertive and being yourself. Just reaching out to these people, being 100% yourself is the best way to get a great response. I've made so many great friends. I've made so many great contacts in the industries that I'm wanting to be involved in, like the pet industry for Rory's Instagram, and then some other like Airbnb people. I've done some reviews for them and done some photos for them, and in return I get a free stay, and it's just been a wonderful experience. And a lot of people think that you can't do it, but it's as simple as just putting yourself out there and seeing what you can get. And most of the time you can get a lot if you're just willing to dig a little deeper and make it a little more personal. And I'm not making a ton of money right now, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm making a ton of money, because I've been at this for 1.5 years, and a lot of it has been a lot of sacrificing. It's been sacrificing time, it's been sacrificing a lot of money. I definitely don't make as much as I made when I was working my corporate job at the moment, but I do make enough for me to pay the bills and also spend more time growing my business by doing things that I actually want to do. And so it's not that I don't want to make a lot of money, because that's the dream, but you can't expect to be making thousands and thousands of dollars every month and start at the very bottom. So when you start at the bottom, you kind of have to lower your expectations in terms of what you're going to get. But I think it's been so rewarding that I've just kind of pushed away the thought of, you know, I'm not a millionaire now, but I will be later, because I just love living in the moment, and I love making enough money to where I can live. I don't have a lot of requirements to live. I live in an Airstream, you guys. But I'm making enough with all of these things as a whole. And I hope to be making more than I did when I was working a corporate job at some point, clearly. But right now, I know that it's going to take some time to grow everything up. And it's just been a wild ride of ups and downs, and I'm just happy to be where I am now, because I've grown so much over the last year that I literally did not dream about any of this back in December, because it's literally been less than a year, and I've grown my Instagram account by about 600 to 700 followers. Rory's Instagram has grown like wildfire, and it's just been amazing to watch the process. But I wanted this lifestyle for myself, so I've been pursuing it, and I keep investing in myself. I do a lot of learning, like self-growth learning. I watch courses online, and I invest in equipment, and it's been an expensive ride for sure, but I'm still making it out alive, and I think that's half the battle. A lot of people stop when they realize they're not making a lot of money in the beginning. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly but surely, and I am super excited to move forward and see what happens here in the next year. I've got some big stuff planned, so I'm hoping that you guys get a lot out of this video. These are some of my adventures. I'm going to include some of my adventures in here to show you guys that it is possible. I'm using my iPhone right now to record this video, and I think it's so important to just show you guys how easy it is just to make stuff happen if you're willing to give it a shot. Expectations definitely don't need to be super high, but just making it work for you is important. Your lifestyle doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a luxury travel blogger and stay in mansions for free. I don't want that. I want to stay true to myself. I want to still work on getting all this nature time. I think that's so important to me and my self-growth, and I think for the most part I just wanted to tell you guys that you just have to try. It doesn't matter what industry you want to be in. If you want to be a luxury travel blogger, go do it. If you want to be a fashion blogger, I encourage it. I think it all just starts with you. You have to be willing to put in the time and realize that consistency is key. You have to be assertive with yourself. I know that I was a super introvert growing up as a kid, and I have just constantly been pushing my boundaries ever since I got out of college. And with these boundaries that I've been crossing and I've been pushing, just pushing back on them all the time, I've been able to do public speaking events, which I never thought I would do. I've been able to make friends online and meet up with them without worry of being snatched or being awkward or weird. I've made contacts in industries. I've made clients through these contacts. It's been an interesting ride, and I never expected that I would be here doing this right now, but I'm so glad that I am, because I've finally found something that I can do that shares my passions with the world, makes a difference on you guys, and encourages you to take the time to really find yourself and figure out what you want to do. So that's how that happens, and if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Feel free to leave a comment below, to send me an Instagram message, or whatever you kids do these days. But I would love to talk to you guys about it. I'm working on some online courses, which I keep telling you guys about, but I'm working on some courses to kind of send out there so you guys can try and figure it out yourselves, and get moving, because I know a lot of you have the dream of traveling and seeing the world like I do, and I think everybody should have the chance to do it, and there's plenty of room for all of us, I promise. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and if you want to know about more of my travel blogging tips or anything like that, just go ahead and hit subscribe below, and I'll be posting more videos of my adventures and whatnot here as well. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and we will talk soon.